So, was attending VidCon 2025 as a fake creator enough to actually make me a creator myself just by attending it? I know it's a little bit late to talk about VidCon 2025. I needed the summer to actually mull over a few things. I had never really intended to attend VidCon. My mom was actually kind enough to take me out to her own expo, which was happening at the Westin Hotel in Anaheim, literally at the same time as VidCon. I was just supposed to chill at the hotel, basically get some other work done, but instead I got distracted by the new shiny object that was happening at the Anaheim Convention Center. It was not a wasted experience because it was something where I could actually learn from. Granted, I know that VidCon is well past its heyday. I was looking at videos. It's not at its peak like it used to be, but the fact that it was just conveniently down the street from where I was and it had already started, I was figuring, hey, maybe I can get a day pass. All I had with me was my motivation, a cell phone camera, because I'm not a pro creator. That sounded kind of weird. Not a professional creator. I am not a pro creator. I do not have children. And the ingenuity to just saunter over to the security outside the convention center. Funny enough, I generally tend to work in trade shows and conferences here in Vegas where I'm filming this. And normally the registration is right next to the security checkpoint. In this case, it was like in Hall E. It was like super far away or whatever. I am not in Vegas anymore. Look at these supposed crowds. It's a ghost town here. All I want to do is just purchase a ticket. There's like nobody signing up to register at all. This is crazy, dude. This is not 2018 anymore. A largely empty registration hall. I went on a Friday. I'm used to like being in Vegas where like stuff, and this is a ghost town now post-COVID, but you would still think there would be people trickling in, right? I didn't even think to purchase it online, even though I did see that there were tickets online, because I was thinking maybe I could find a little bit more information as to what would be the best pass for me to use. I had no idea what community meant. And I definitely was not a creator, and I definitely wasn't part of industry, so I kind of went over there to get a little bit more information, maybe a recommendation as to what was the best path or tier. And could not buy anything there. It is a digitally, adjacent event, if you will, because it is about video, so you're supposed to just buy it online. Surprise to me. Normally I'm so used to being able to buy a badge or something like that at a registration, but okay. So being the cheap person that I was, again, so many expenses of this trip were covered by the virtue of the fact that I had free hotel, free flight out there. I was just supposed to chill in Anaheim. But anyway, point being is that I ended up even putting up on my Instagram, listen, yo, if you're in the area, there is a literal promo code that I managed to find online. Just apply it at checkout. So I think I got like $15 off. So it's worth to actually scour the internet for promo codes before you buy something online. Actually, they don't even really give tickets. It was a wristband plus this badge right here. There were some activations outside. Nothing was really going on at the time that I had arrived because I got there kind of early, expecting there to be a lot of crowds. And I was power walking through it because I was like, okay, I only got a day pass and you'll be able to see everything. Lo and behold, the only thing I could recognize was a few major brands, and everything else was like a corporate brand having something to do with maybe a popular channel, like everything from like Minecraft to something with, I don't know, Muppets, dolls or something. I'm not really familiar because apparently I'm old. There's literally children all over the place, plus their adult chaperones and some youth that probably can somehow get there on their own. But I did enjoy the Expo Hall experience. I was a bit confused as to what ostensibly the raison d'etre was for that entire area. Yes, there are some major brands there. Yes, they have their footprint. Yes, there is marketing, but I'm like, what is the community exactly about? Now, I did go to the YouTube Shorts area or YouTube Home. That was pretty cool. It was basically a way to teach everybody, not just creators, just like the average everyday YouTube addict, because I am one. And they showed you how to use VO3 or something like that. Basically just AI generated content using sort of like your image there, and it was kind of neat because you got to create, you got to learn. It was sort of like educational tied in with, hey, we're actually creating something in this experience right here. That was pretty neat. They had another one in the creator lounge upstairs, which I later snuck up into, and they had some other things going on up there, and that was more focused on sort of consultation. Like, if you are a creator, these are some of the tips that you can use in order to accelerate your stuff while also engaging and having fun in this little spot. I did like a few things. I actually picked up some charms here. They had some, oh, what's the 20th anniversary of YouTube? Yeah, they had this kind of thing, and I took some photos and that kind of stuff. I got like a little charm bracelet that I got just for funsies, just to keep. The thing that kind of stuck out to me, that there was a market. I guess I was trying to understand what the purpose of the market was, because it was a stark contrast to the rest of the expo hall, like visually jarring almost. You go into an area where it's just nothing but pipe and drape, because it was supposed to be a creator's market, but it just didn't have the allure or the aesthetic, if you will. It didn't feel like it was at the same level as the rest of the expo hall. That felt kind of sorry for those people, because I still couldn't see in what way is the market related to creation and video. It would have been helpful maybe to have like some screens in the back that showed and just fed like on a constant loop, maybe highlights from their channels, what kind of products they had been putting out that were like promoted via their channels. If I had seen more of that connection, and maybe somebody from the admin can take notes like, hey, on the experiential side, that needs to be more visually clear. And on top of that, the design of the area needs to feed in better to the rest of the expo hall. Like obviously YouTube has a massive budget, TikTok has a massive budget, and then you go into this pipe and drape area and it's like, so that would sort of be just sort of like my note. But the first thing I did do once I was kind of done with the area, literally, I thought I was gonna be like there the whole day. Clearly not. You can just power walk through that thing in 2 hours. I did find one thing and I sat down just to support. There was something called a Spark Theater. They had somebody on stage, did not recognize them, but I know what it's like to perform in front of an empty audience. My background is in performance arts. I was like, there's only like me, maybe like 12 other people in this audience, where there's a seating for like at least 100, maybe 250. There's so much noise behind us. But I sat down there to see if there was any sort of content. And then I thought to myself, okay, maybe it's now time to like go elsewhere. There has to be like other theaters and sessions that don't have anything necessarily to do with this. With the community badge, I was able to go upstairs, and there is a section, I guess it was called a podcast theater. Maybe there was something else that was going on in terms of sessions that was accessible to this tier. But I wasn't really ready to consume sort of like entertainment content. I was there like, okay, I want to learn a little bit more now. So I then go to the creator area. Now, how did I get it with this badge? Now, you might have noticed that I said that you needed a wristband as well. Funny enough, I saw that there was like, again, pipe and drape. There was a security person in front of the pipe and drape, which led to the creator area and had to check for your credentials for it. Well, I did notice that on the other side of that pipe and drape, there was a massive spiral staircase that led back down to the lower level where the expo hall was. So you had to have purchased the creator badge, which was like significantly more expensive. And again, since I didn't know if this thing was actually quality or not, I wasn't gonna pay full price for nothing, honey. And lo and behold, there was nobody there at the security checkpoint waiting at the top of the stairs. Now, if somebody from VidCon administration is taking notes about this, they're probably gonna patch those holes. If you're seeing this maybe in 2026 or later, I'm guessing you probably can't do this trick anymore. But what I had was a crossbody, and in the crossbody, I tucked the badge behind it, and then I had my wristband, and I put that in my pocket, and I just casually walked through. The lanyard was the same for everybody. So I wanted to go see something that was something where I could learn, and I just so happened to have started on a high. Like, I recognized that there was something from Chris Do, the Future podcast. I had seen his content before. He had done something related to building your personal brand. But I noticed that one of the session scanners was talking to this guy, this creator named Brock Johnson. I had actually spotted him earlier in that morning at the Blossom Cafe. I didn't realize he was that tall in person, but I was just checking Instagram to be like, is that really him? Is he here? And I saw that he had actually posted his burrito breakfast wrap or whatever. And I said, hey, be sure to like give a shout out to Blossom Cafe at the Westin Hotel where you got this. And I think we got like a conversation going on Instagram throughout the day. Later on, I was able to get an invitation or a prompt to go to this event called the Creator Club, which was happening later that evening, where I got this hat. Anyway, I'm skipping a little bit ahead of the story, but as much as I really wanted to say hi to Brock, initially I didn't want to make it evident that I really wasn't supposed to be in this space. I snuck in right behind him. So I was like, thank you for this. I got an invitation to your party, and going in right into this session for Chris Do. And a lot to learn. I can just throw up some videos starting right now.
It is a staggering concept. You build a strong personal brand, clients find you, you don't ever have to look for them. So that's when Dan Martell says, brand is a force multiplier. It takes everything you do and it scales it up exponentially. So if you're still on the fence, like, should I be making content? Should I build my brand? Who am I? What am I trying to do? Should I have an opinion on things? Maybe by the end of this presentation, you'll have some new thoughts in your mind, okay? So the brand with the strongest tribe wins because it's a battle of tribes. I'm voting for the world I want to live in. I'm casting my vote. So every time you do something, someone casts a vote with their views, with their time and their attention.
And what really stuck out to me in that particular session, and this is what I've been mulling on pretty much all summer long, but it was related to personal brand versus the brand of your product. What is stronger? And why your personal brand is a lot more important in order to promote the brand that might be your business or your side hustle, or maybe just your niche and industry you want to focus on, you know? I have been trying to avoid being on social media on the creator side for a while. I don't mind it being on there casually. I love consuming it, but I never really thought of myself as being a creator just yet. And that I think was something that Chris was trying to drive home. It's like people don't necessarily remember brands per se, but they definitely remember the people that are behind those brands. Or if they do remember the brand, they remember the brand a lot more than the product, because people are emotionally connecting to people, less so the product itself. You could have an amazing product, maybe you can have an amazing business, but it'll be harder to get sort of a reputation going behind that brand if they don't know the people behind it first. And this is something that I've also kind of discussed a little bit with my own business partners, and both of them begrudgingly hate being on social media. It's like pulling teeth to be on there. I think I had seen recently a video by some guy named Callaway, which is a pendulum, right? Before it was all about building up personalities. And then those personalities basically kind of became brands, and brands became a little bit more corporate, more solidified, and now starting to swing a little bit back into the middle, where we have to find sort of like that balance between, yes, you have brands, yes, you have products, but you still need to be connected to that human aspect, because people make decisions based on their emotion and their connection to people. And that's important to me because one of my brands happens to be working directly with people, that is artisans that live in Mexico. And more specifically, a designer that works with artisans in Mexico. The other business that I'm working with is U.S. Customs Brokerage. So unless you're an importer of record, you do imports, or are the owner of a freight forwarder, I don't think I'm going to be too helpful to you. But maybe developing a little bit of my own channel would be able, at least documenting the journey of me being involved in these businesses and me trying to get my toes wet in social media a little bit more seriously, could have a positive impact on those businesses. So yeah, it sort of like all came like full circle. So this is why I thought, hey, it's important to also attend if you're on the cusp of becoming a creator. Maybe if you're just doing it for community, you'll be disappointed. Maybe if you're just doing it as a creator and you already have your audience, you'd be like, did I really travel out for this? I got a ticket for this event hosted by ManyChat. They actually gave me a nice little fun thing at my own mother's hotel, which was, again, everything about this was so conveniently like falling into place. I told Mom, you know what, I only got a ticket for myself, but I want to see if I can get you in. Not that I'm saying that security is really bad. I think Amanda from Swell Entertainment was like, this is way too scary. Like, there are too many holes in the security. You can get away with so much shit, especially for like dubious people like myself. Like, it was pretty cool. It was like sunset. There were like these different tables for like different creators that you can like talk with them. Brock was the only one I was really familiar with. He was also another person that also planted the seed. Okay, well, you have a lot of experiences. You have some stuff documented, but you're not putting it out there. Why don't you just talk about like your journey as somebody who is with Latina women, supporting their businesses and your journey through that. I'm just in and out of the country all the time, and I really want to be able to support them both. And it's been a little bit slow because unfortunately I had to be an entrepreneur and like in the most difficult setting for the economy ever. And my mom had a good time. Like, she came out of her conference, I brought her to this party. She was like, what is going on? What is this about? I have no idea, but she's also there for the ride as well. It was the least I could do for her was like take her out to dinner by using ManyChat's thing. But yeah, VidCon was great. I know that the networking party by ManyChat didn't really have anything to do with VidCon per se, as a lot of these satellite events happen as a result of VidCon, but are not immediately a part of it. But the creator sessions were decent for me, just to learn some stuff and put me on this journey that we're on right now. And so it was sort of like a review plus my relationship to this experience and how I can move forward going as a potential creator. So that's where I'm going to leave it for now. Is it worth it? Well, if you can do all the shit that I did, yeah, absolutely. If you're in the context that I was in, yeah, maybe if you can find like a discount code. I don't know if you'll be able to sneak in next year. I'm probably going to be banned from this conference. But without any further ado, if you would like to learn more about my journey moving forward, feel free to check out some of the links I'll be leaving in the description, specifically my Instagram. If you are into LinkedIn for any weird reason you found yourself on here, but like also LinkedIn, great. Go check out All Borders Inc. That has a company page. And the other one will be HUITZILIN Arte Mexicano, which may or may not keep that same name once it moves into the US market. So if you are interested in artisanal jewelry made by a designer in Guadalajara and what ways I have to collaborate with her, by all means, come follow that journey. That'll most likely be the next series of videos because there is a lot to unpack in that journey for sure. So anyway, signing off, this is Jono Alexander on Instagram, on YouTube now too. I'll see you in the next installment. Thank you, folks, and I hope you enjoy this journey with me.